Do you see Ethereum flipping the Bitcoin's market cap?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, because one is a whole, the internet of value, and the other is a store of value, right? They're not the same things. The value of all of the mobile phone networks in the world is worth a lot more than gold, but nobody compares them. That's stupid. But people compare these things. Now, if in 10 years' time, Bitcoin has smart contracts, has cheap transactions, all of these things that Ethereum offers, then fine, that may change again. I don't think of it necessarily as a permanent flippening. Maybe something else happens. I have a completely open mind. But right now, if you look at the network effects and the speed of growth of the network, Ethereum will outperform.
How manipulated do you think the Bitcoin market is?
You can manipulate a market in the short term, you can't do it in the long term. So I'm not a short-term player. I hear people talking about what the whales are doing and what people are doing in Asia, what some of the bigger trading people in Asia are doing. And sure, I mean, humans are incentivized to manipulate markets, but in my time horizon, it doesn't matter. Crypto just happens to have this 24-hour, but not 24-hour liquidity, and
Hmm.
that creates a opportunity set for people who want to move the market around for specific things. I know this from the derivative market. You know, you would see if there was a option was expiring at one point, people would try and expire it at that point to make it worthless or valuable, whatever it was doing. Same with program trades, where you'd buy huge baskets for a pension fund. They would guarantee a price into the close and they would manipulate the price. We've seen it in LIBOR, we've seen it in the foreign exchange fixings, we've seen it in everything. If there's an economic incentive to do it, humans will take it. The other layer ones, it's really simple to me. I don't know why everybody gets in a big mess about this. It's really simple. Is okay, so Bitcoin is the least flexible in its current format. So if you want flexibility of smart contracts and ease of use, you go to Ethereum. That's great. Now, if you want cheaper fees or faster, you go to another layer one, Solana, Terra, Avalanche, etc. And they all have their place in the ecosystem. And that's fine. And it's not, I don't think the market is all about price or speed. It's all about network effects. Those chains are getting network effects. And I think Ethereum's dominance of the alternatives market, the non Bitcoin market, will fall over time because the market's going to broaden out and find different use cases. It's like I was having an argument on Twitter last night about decentralization, but it's not decentralized enough for them. Nothing is compared to Bitcoin. But people will take trade offs. Everybody does. Life is about a trade off. And the trade off is less decentralized equals faster and cheaper. And that equation is what it is. And you make your choice. And that means there will be people adopting some of these ecosystems.
Do you see Ethereum flipping the Bitcoin's market cap?
Yeah, for sure. Because one is a whole, the internet of value, and the other is a store of value, right? They're not the same things. The value of all of the mobile phone networks in the world is worth a lot more than gold, but nobody compares them. That's stupid. But people compare these things. Now, if in 10 years' time, Bitcoin has smart contracts, has cheap transactions, all of these things that Ethereum offers, then fine, that may change again. I don't think of it necessarily as a permanent flippening. Maybe something else happens. I have a completely open mind. But right now, if you look at the network effects and the speed of growth of the network, Ethereum will outperform. And eventually, it only has to outperform by 2x and it's
Yeah.
done. And it's larger. Does that mean that Ethereum's won? No, they're two different things. It's ridiculous. And, and who knows if we look at that in 10 years' time, could be something else. And I have no issue with that. I think it's going to happen anyway. My thought process is everything is going to be tokenized. The interesting process is thinking, what do we not understand now that could be tokenized? Sure, we can put all the securities industry on the blockchain. We can put supply chains on. But what are the other use cases we're not imagining yet? And that was the breakthrough in the internet that came later. And I think NFTs have kind of shown that. Right? This was a uniquely crypto thing that's just happened. This whole Web3 thing is actually quite uniquely crypto, this community-driven idea. So let people run with that. When you see what Seed Club is doing, lots of ground up stuff that Jess is working on there. Really interesting. Jeff Kaufman at Jump, what he's doing with marketing. All from these kind of things, we're going to see really interesting stuff. But it's still early phase. It's kind of like the internet in 1997, which is where it is in adoption terms. And really the big breakthrough came in about 2010, when the network business models of Facebook, I mean, Google was around, but really it pivoted to become the data for everything. All of this stuff really happened around 2010. You saw it change on Twitter. It went from Bitcoin versus ETH and all of this stuff, this weird stuff. And suddenly what people did was found something. And these things, who knows where the magic starts? But people start calling each other friend and using GM for good morning. I've commented on this and people, the Bitcoin community hated me for it. But I'm like, what they created was community. So everyone was so tired of the infighting. And suddenly there was this, we know we're ridiculous. Isn't this fun? Why don't we get together? And that was mind-blowing. We all understood the non-fungible token and where it can be used, insurance contracts or this or that. Fine, we get it. We kind of know that real estate will go there and all sorts of stuff. What we didn't realize is that the Bored Ape Yacht Club and CryptoPunks were going to be the thing, which is really counterintuitive because it's ridiculous JPEGs, but it's not, because what it became was the rallying cry for people understanding what this really meant. That we could be humans in a digital world. And what are humans in the digital world? We self-identify. Everything we do, your background, my background, what we wear, how we wear our haircut, the music we listen to, the sports, it's all self-identification. And what it gave people was the expression in a digital world that allowed people to group together. That was the weird thing that happened. But that really was the start of Web3 narrative. That people go, right, I get it. Community is everything.